found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Yo, yo, yo. How you living, how you feeling, how you doing? It's First Choice Fantasy. We are back. Week 17. We're not going to do start sits because championship week is practically over for most leagues. I'm in a weird league where I have a 2-week championship.
You need to get out of it.
Exactly, I do. It's an 18 target league and it's probably going to last 1 week. So, I mean, it is what it is. But we have something special today. Our brainchild is, Alex can describe it. You want to hear it?
This is the First Choice Fantasy Awards episode, and I feel like we could use some award music, but the only thing I can think of when I think of that is the Family Feud music, and that just doesn't seem right.
Definitely put that in here, Brandon. Family Feud, just do that.
Well, don't say it, then they're going to sue us.
Well, do the feud of First Choice Feud, bro. That's a segment next year. Oh my God.
This is how we come up with
This
our
is
segments.
crazy. All right.
Should have seen us
All
when
right.
we came up with our start sets. It's a whole revelation.
Yeah. It was literally just for me. It was just intuition. Sometimes it was like I have a gut feeling this dude's gonna do good. Like week 6, his last name is like starts with a 6, and it's like what? What you want, bro?
It starts
It was
with
different.
a 6.
I mean, Kyle 6.
I just wrote the
know.
name of every NFL player on a wall and threw darts at it.
Yeah, I seen those with betting videos on Instagram. People just put treats on the ground, have labels on them for who's going to score a touchdown, and the dog eats whichever one.
I've seen that, but I'm talking every single NFL player on the wall. Guys you've never heard of. That was how Franco Harris ended up being picked.
That's facts.
Hit by the dart. But all right, you guys, you're talking about doing a little end of year summary. Well, personally, fuck this season. I don't have anything to say about anything that happened. I just want to point out how Josh Allen went from like not that good last year to like being like an MVP caliber quarterback. And as I was saying earlier, they mentioned on the broadcast, like against Pittsburgh, how they used this like these like special cameras to track his arm movements on his throws so he could improve his accuracy. And now all of a sudden he's just the best quarterback ever. And I think every quarterback ever should be doing that in film. Break out those Josh Allen cameras. I mean, my man's got like a 19-0 touchdown interception ratio on throws under 10 yards. That's stupid. And that might have been before last night. So, I mean, I guess it won't be last night when this comes out. That might have been before the past game where he threw like another 74 touchdowns. So that ratio probably just went up. That's all I got to say about this year. Fuck everything else.
Those cameras, though, that would have been cross-referencing to sport, like a different sport. Those cameras probably would have helped Markelle Fultz first year. But that's besides the point.
Anything would have helped Mark.
You don't think so? That's crazy. All right. Well, what was I going to say? Josh Allen. Oh, yeah. I see in his stats, completion percentage over expectation, better than Patrick Mahomes this year, which is, you can never say anybody's better than Patrick Mahomes, but the stats, they're better.
Josh Allen's.
Josh Allen.
Said Ryan Tannehill's stats were up there at the end of last season.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Remember that?
Completion percentage was crazy. Yeah.
Not last game.
Yeah, not very much.
I was gonna glaze over the fact that I was in three championships.
Just glaze right over it.
And I got Kamara in one of them, and Stephon Diggs. And yeah, that was the end of that. I mean, if Kamara wouldn't have put up 54 points on, what was it, Christmas Eve? Yeah, no way I would have been in that situation, I don't think. Even Stephon Diggs, 30 points, I could have possibly, if I made some more moves, managed. But after I seen Kamara put up 55 points, I bought myself some shoes on Foot Locker, and that was that. So took my L right there. I sent the money to the person who had Kamara on his team immediately as I seen that happen. And yeah, so that was one league. Another league I played Alex in, I had Kamara. So
I got Kamara in the one league that I made. And then in the other two, my teams wilted like flowers in the semifinals as all of my players went down. A heap of torn ligaments and broken bones and concussed brains.
Mine just didn't pan out. And strange enough, Alvin Kamara was in 3 out of my 4 leagues championships. And you know what the most exciting game was? The one he wasn't in.
Facts.
That was actually came
There's
down to the wire.
probably a good reason for that. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's not out there dropping 50 on people's heads.
Diggs
say
was in the
when I-
championship though.
yeah. Diggs was
When I saw that Ed had Kamara, I didn't even bother setting my lineup. Good season.
Well, I'll take that one trophy. The other league that I am in, the 8-team league, it's the second week of the championship. The first week I took by like 30 points because Miles Gaskin's a god. But that was the only game I've seen him in a championship of all my leagues. Miles Gaskin. It's crazy to think about. But league winner, Brandon. Remember? He was your
Yeah.
league winner this year. Yeah.
I was so
Help me
excited
win my
about him.
league. Might help me get all the money in that league.
Good.
Up 30 points, looking to win this week, but that is what it is. That's my season. If you guys want anything to say, go ahead.
Well, good luck to you, Ed.
Thank you.
I am ready.
All right,
I'm ready for next
let's
season. For sure.
let's kick off this ceremony before we get into next season.
Get into these.
Yeah.
Get into these awards.
All right, I'm scared honestly.
right,
Alex did make up all these trophies, by the way.
And
Uh,
Ed and I have no idea. Any
Yeah,
of
I did. I went through and counted all of the numbers for everything. I guess I'll get into that more as I go. But to start off, this was a tight one. Out of all the positions, this was the closest. But announcing the Bill Belichick Award for the best QB picks right after this commercial break.
Yeah.
Just-
If we
It
had-
was, Brandon Harris, step on down, claim your trophy. The
Oh,
Bill Belichick
down. Okay. Hey.
best quarterback picks.
how close was it?
Give me the.
He had it. He had it by 2.
Ooh.
A
I'm
lot
guessing
of
you
them
were in second?
Well, we have next up we have the Adam Gase Award for the worst QB picks.
The Joe Flacco's.
Got my drum roll. Can you hear that?
I just
can,
want
yeah.
to say first thank you to
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers week.
Man.
Ryan Tannehill's week in, week out relied on him.
Funny you should mention the Aaron Rodgers week because that fits you somewhere else. But not in the final tally. But yeah.
But let's hear this Adam Gase award. I'm looking forward to hearing who's Gased. Who's the Gase in this trio?
It was the man, the myth, the legend, the quarterback himself, the Red Rocket, Edward Roach.
Whoa!
Down.
The Red Rocket.
How does that work? How does that
The
work?
Red Gase.
I'm looking back right now, and I haven't the weeks that we did keep track of scores and whatnot. I got Kirk Cousins week 5 -2 at the start. I don't know why I ever put faith into anybody named Kirk Cousins or Carson
I think
Wentz.
I
sat
did
him.
too.
I will say some of those numbers didn't necessarily reflect. Because if you remember back then, we were doing that based on points, but how I did this was basically like if you picked a QB1, you won it, and if you didn't, you lost.
I like that. I like that a lot better.
Receivers and tight ends, I did like a similar way. Like if you picked a guy that was like, like in good standing amongst his peers, you got it. Like I was saying, you guys, like one of us sat, I think it was Drew Brees, and he finished with 20 points, and you think, well, that's a miss, but he finished QB like 18 that week, so I counted that as a hit because you sat the QB 18. That's a viable opinion.
Yeah.
My statement. I want to make a statement right here. Right. So this may be a
Adam
great
Gase making an
sign.
excuse.
This might be a sign. Should I do this?
Son.
Anyway, this award is a sign of my lack of decision making in this championship week. I started Jalen Hurts in this league where I got Kamara, which I still had a chance, but started Jalen Hurts. I was debating all week, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. Well, Tom Brady rotted on my bench. Ended up putting up 30, the most of all my quarterbacks, so I guess that is a testament to my lack of quarterback choice. I don't know. It's just, I guess it just rooted in me deeply as a quarterback. I don't know who to start. And I guess I'll take this award with pride.
It's Ed's ego can't get out of his way. He's like, well, I'm a better quarterback than these guys.
Exactly. That's what it is sometimes. That's what it is.
Well, if
All
you
right,
would have did
moving
that
on.
2 weeks ago, it would have worked out. It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
That's how fantasy works. It dangles it right in front of your face, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold off. Just
You
let's
almost had
see,
it.
wait a week." And then, right when it's got you, draw it in for the kill. They'd snatch it from you. Tomorrow already did that.
I'm going to say moving on for a third time. And I swear to God, if someone says something about quarterbacks, I'm going to show up to your house and beat your ass.
Adam Gase
I'm
denies
running
that.
this. It's the Adam Gase Award.
Bill
I'm calling you
Belichick don't take shit.
the Bill Belichick Award. You see that thing during that game where they told him to challenge that? That guy is dead. Let's check on that man's family. That guy's fine.
Police witness protection program. He goes. All right, you can move on now.
Moving on to the Forrest Gump Award for best running back picks.
Oh,
That's creative. I like that.
it's gonna be Alex.
Here is step on down.
Me?
Jesus
Another
Christ.
one.
Yes. I'm surprised by that one. I've had a bad year with running backs, I feel like. But that was just in my leagues.
So this is funny. Everyone that won the positional rank, outside of, I'll explain it as we go. Brandon won running backs actually by a relatively wide margin.
Go.
Brandon, I want to hear some words. Anything.
Words?
Here.
Well, I wish I had some.
It's a Forrest
I feel
Gump
like
award. Be grateful.
Throughout all of my fantasy years, this year has been the roughest, the toughest at the running back positions with all of my teams. Even when I had Dalvin Cook and Miles Sanders and David Johnson, somehow I still lost that league and didn't even make the playoffs. And other leagues, just running backs were not my position to pick. But here and now, with this landslide,
you just didn't get your own picks. Different science.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I think this also speaks loads to your Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin and Forrest Gump go hand in hand. I think it shows that you are a running back whisperer.
I am.
You're a running back whisperer. Future running back coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Replacing Deuce Staley.
Boston Scott. It's time.
Oh, man.
Alex doesn't like Boston Scott.
Explaining because he's not good. Where I'm gonna have to start explaining award titles. But moving on to the Lee Boogus Award for worst running back pick. And a side note, $1 to anyone who can tell me who Lee Boogus is.
I don't know.
He's a running back for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 70s, I believe. He had an average yards per carry of 2.6. Not good. Hence, the Lee Boogus Award for worst running back picks goes to Edward Roach with his second award of the day. This one also in a landslide victory.
So Alex is just sitting all in. We're all
always in the middle.
I have been in the middle so far. That's all right. That'll change eventually. Ed, you have anything to say?
I do. I think this this is literally like the takes that we take, if that makes sense. The hot takes that we do have, I think they come to backfire or they come to show, they show who we are, ultimately. David Montgomery outscoring Aaron Jones, which was bold at the time. It still hasn't looked too bad. I think he's the running back 6 on the year, something around there, and it's absurd to think about. But
it's just because everybody got hurt and he didn't. So good for him for not getting injured. Best ability is availability, you know what they say. But Ed, I'll have some words later on in the awards ceremony for your season. I had to create an special award just for you.
So I'm just going to assume I'm taking these wide receiver and tight end
Well
awards.
done,
Okay.
Ed. Well done.
Moving on to the Don Hudson Award for best receiving picks. Those two. Myself, I'm on the board.
There he is.
Wow. Gotta catch up.
And for your curiosity, if either of you do not know who Don Hudson is, Don Hudson was like one of the first elite receivers. I think he played back in like the 40s or 50s, but when he retired, he had like more receptions and yards and touchdowns, like twice as much more than the next leading guy.
See,
His
the
first catch like 8
stat
yards to the
and-
house or something like that.
and football history right here.
Good man. And again, like the running backs, I took this by a wide margin.
I'm
Also-
gonna be on the losing end of this one.
Margin, Philadelphia Eagles Award for the worst receiving. And he already knew it. Brandon Harris, you're on the board on the wrong side. Step on
Damn.
down.
I was hoping to escape this ceremony without one of these trash awards, but
It's trash
I
awards.
I mean, I gotta take the good with the bad, I guess.
You know, it happens. All right. That was a very moving speech there from Brandon as he accepted the defeat. Moving on to the Travis Kelce Award. You should be able to figure out what this one's for.
Yeah.
I want to hear a prediction. Let me get a prediction here.
I don't even know. I have no idea.
It's definitely not me. I think I got the bottom. Yeah, again.
Winning the Travis Kelce Award by a wide margin. Eddie Roach.
Wow. On the board.
Yeah. Yep. By, I guess, a wide margin as well. Quarterback was close, but of the three positional players, all of them were relative blowouts in the grand scheme of things.
I don't know how to react to that because I feel like this is one of the more. I don't want to disgrace this award ceremony as a whole, but this is probably one of the least
Exciting
mattering.
awards. Yeah.
Exactly, because there's
Security.
12
Take
a
'em
lot
out.
of
He said security.
it's fun. A lot of the
You don't talk shame on us.
Get him out of here.
It's funny you should say the least exciting because like I said, when we were going through when we were first doing like the point system for start sits, a lot of your tight ends that actually had zeros or negative ones actually won because
Those
you
top
picked
12.
a tight end who only had 8 points. But I mean, like if that's what you're picking from, that's what you're picking from. So you
I
gotta
guess
move
relative.
Probably the hardest position to choose too. So like,
Yeah, especially given that like any given week, like it was like Harrison Bryant popping off to be the tight end 1 by like a 15-point margin.
I will say the one tight end that gave me the most trouble was Logan
Awesome.
Thomas.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah, same
Austin
here.
Hooper
Every time
was
I
the
went-
most disappointing, but Logan Thomas, every time I pick him as a start or a sit, he'd do the opposite.
I was just gonna say,
Every single time.
there were quite a few Logan Thomas picks, and the majority of them were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. But moving on to the Ken McAfee Award for worst tight end pick.
Come on, I can't go. I
And-
can't go 2 for 2.
I do want to get back into the Ken McAfee thing because it's a hilarious story. But it is me. I'm on the board here
Yes.
by again a wide margin. I struggled in the tight end department this season.
Happens to the best of us.
Not a good tight end year, but either of you know who Ken McAfee is because he is the national treasure.
I have an idea of who he is.
Is he Pat's
I've
brother?
heard of him. Ken Mac.
I doubt it. But Ken McAfee was drafted 7th overall in 1978 to the San Francisco 49ers. One of the highest drafted. I'm pretty sure 6th overall is the highest drafted. Maybe it was 4, but 7th overall, high pick for tight end. Ken played 2 seasons. I think it was in the second season or maybe his first off season. They tried to move him to guard. He didn't want to. And he enrolled in medical school during the off season. The team was not thrilled about this. And eventually he quit to become a dentist.
Are you going to become a dentist, Alex?
No.
You're going to leave
Not
us to be a
Oh, man.
Not a big fan of
dental
postdoc,
assistant?
so. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was hilarious. I mean, drafted 7th overall, played it. I would love to be a fly on the wall in I'm pretty sure I thought I read
Awkward
Dick was like
conversation.
the one who wanted to move
I'm
to
like,
tight end, but
I'm
anyway,
like,
no, before that, when in the off season he enrolled in medical school. As you would imagine, the team was not thrilled. Hey, bud, we got some football over here. What you doing over there? But
like,
Fixing teeth.
good. Yeah.
and hey,
I can
all right,
give you
moving
a
on.
discount.
This is where we get into some of the subjective awards, but here we're just gonna take it. But this one, this one was a surprise to me, and I named it this way because I assumed I'd be giving it to Ed, and I wanted to make fun of him.
Oh, is this a bold take?
Here is the Kardashian Award for the boldest and flashiest of takes, and a stunning development. The winner goes to me.
Wow.
I know, I couldn't believe it
I'm
myself.
surprised by it.
Kardashian. Kardashian?
The line on, you tell me they ain't bold?
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose.
The boldest and flashiest of picks. You think
Okay.
flashy douchebags? I'm thinking Kardashian.
So you were trying to come at me with that?
Yes, I was trying to make fun of you, but
He
Okay.
made this name to come at you, and then it backfired on
Backfired.
himself. And
right into my
he
face.
couldn't
The funny part
reverse
is-
it. He had to leave it the same.
No, so, all right, so, like, obviously, I knew which player was whose because that was how I tallied it, but I tried not to look at names when I was looking down the list of players. I just tried to, like, if I would try to look at the player. No, that's bold, And, like, the qualifications for bold, it had to be bold, like Brandon sitting tomorrow, like, bordering on stupid. And the funniest part of this is most of my bold decisions didn't work. Like, most of my bold takes were sits. Most of them did not work. Being bold does not always work out. But next on is all I got to say about that. We have the Flower Award for
Oh.
the safest and the least imaginary picks.
It said flower.
This can't be Ed.
It's gotta
And
be
it's
Brandon.
not. It's not
It's
Alex because
Brandon.
he just won. There's
Nope.
no way this is
Again.
Ed.
You actually could have had both the Flower and the Bold Take Award, but this one was
Yeah.
this one came down to a margin of 2 between all of us. But the winner is, believe it or not, Edward Roach.
Whoa!
The Flowers.
Which? I want to know which ones. Which ones were flower takes? Probably Darren Waller starts. That probably helped me with
Yeah,
the.
that probably.
Waller was
got
one
you
of them.
that dub.
Another one was. It was a very good running back, I think, against Carolina. Not Kenyon Drake, but we'll get back.
It was a start.
Yeah.
Leonard
this,
Fournette, maybe.
No, that's not Flowery.
Dave Montgomery.
I doubt it. Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. Honestly, a lot of the bold and flowery takes were on sits. You did take Diggs one week. I had to give you the flower for that.
A whole bouquet.
I mean, okay, never mind. Whatever. All right, I'll take the bouquet.
Brandon, I think you're, unless that was a joke, I think you're taking the wrong idea of flour. I mean baking flour,
Oh, I
You
thought you
got-
meant flour too.
No,
Cake. That makes sense. That makes
Okay.
sense.
I see
Flour.
what you mean.
your
I feel like
basic.
it could have been taken either way.
It's fine. A little explanation never hurt. Flour, Like, you ever hear saying, like, you're about as spicy as flour?
Well, you don't get bouquets of flower?
Actual flour. However, like I said, for the flour award, Ed had one more than me, and I had one more than Brandon.
Wow.
What a shame.
Very tight margin.
I'm happy with that.
Actually, I won the board. I won the bold award by a few picks, but it didn't really work out in my favor because most of the picks were wrong.
Speaking of the
Now we
Bold
get in.
Award, I want to make a statement about that. So, well, not really a statement, but just a shock. I'm surprised that I didn't get it. I thought I would also have gotten it
I
because,
thought you were a shoe-in for that award from the start, but
yeah, I made some like Lynn Bowden, like you said. That's a psycho start,
that one counted.
and
See, the thing is, I tried to keep everything in perspective. Like, so as the year went along, someone who wasn't necessarily a bold pick, or someone who would have been a bold pick earlier in the season, like if they'd proven themselves, was not later on. Like I tried to keep everything relative. So I think that did make a difference.
we both did come in first week and kick the doors down though. With I sat DeAndre Hopkins. I think you sat Mark Cooper.
No, you sat Hopkins and Cooper. You had two bold picks straight away there.
Jesus Christ.
Also
Okay.
we also had some flour in week one, but yeah, week one was hot for that part.
What are the numbers for these bold and flower picks? Just curious because like if we're taking like 6 or 7 bold picks, or,
They
like,
were each like less than 15, but like I said,
okay. I feel like that's a good number
the
to have.
qualifications that I was doing for these like had to be high, and
That's good.
as this took a few hours, and I probably glazed over a couple, and like everything. I think overall this shows that we were pretty good with this because we were pretty close, like all like especially like the flower ones. Like I said, we were all close. So I think that shows that we were at least putting some thought
Yeah.
who to start or sit.
I was curious about that because that kind of shows that we're not just picking the norm or picking what's
Yeah, we
expected.
got a lot better at that. Like I think in the first couple of weeks we had a few flowery picks.
Yeah.
As the year went on, they became more far in between. So, good season, but yeah, I mean, when I came up with the Kardashian award, like I said, I named it that, assuming I'd give it to Ed, and I was giving it to myself. Ed breaking out the T-shirt.
I'm still confused as to how the Kardashian award hits me. Why me? Are you calling me a bold, flashy douche? Is that what you said? He said
that was
that.
actually, and I quote what he said.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that's you. I mean, I was just like trying to, make fun of you while giving you the award.
I suppose.
Like if you're handing someone an award for doing something good and you take a subtle shot at them, Really, this is a joke. I just thought it was funny. I was like, what could I name something for being bold? Because I had to name it. I couldn't just be like the bold award.
The most bold.
Like, so that's why I was digging up like Lee Boogus and Ken McAfee. I thought
Creative,
bold.
I suppose.
Kardashian. And I figured like, well, I'm not going to get Kardashian. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the Fortune Cookie Award. Best predictions overall. This one, again, was a tight margin, but the winner, by 2 picks. Brandon Harris.
Yes. Yes.
You had me by 2.
Oh, I like this. I'm proud
I
to
like
hear
this.
at least something went right this season. Because none of my
Brandon had
fantasy panned out, but this.
I do think it was ironic that you had us beat here, despite the fact that of the 3 of us, you easily had the worst actual fantasy season.
Thanks.
In terms of podcast season, you got us in here.
Oh, I started off strong. That helped.
Incredibly, considering. Well, we'll get into this in a minute, but anyway, moving on to the Vince Young Award for the worst prediction skills.
Well, you just said that you were second.
Yeah, I was gonna say I accidentally gave it away.
I had a feeling it was coming up. I knew it was coming up.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming
I
up.
was wondering what pink shirt you grabbed. I was like, what's coming
Yeah.
up?
Honestly, Ed, you were a little bit lagging behind us. You were 9 behind me. I have 2 behind Brandon. Again, we will address this moving forward in a few picks. But do you have anything to say?
I suppose I will say, I guess I'm comfortable with this loss that I'm taking as a result of being well as a fantasy football player. So I guess
You had the best fantasy season
Out of all of us. Probably.
real fantasy out of all of us. So it's funny that you had the worst prediction. I will also say, you're like the first half of the season tanked.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Play in the hole after like the first 6 weeks. Like, honest, I'm pretty sure you were like 10 in the hole after the first like 6 or 7 weeks. So then after that, you like were about as good as the rest of us. But those first few weeks, those first 2 months, just were not kind.
Go figure. Of course.
Moving on to the Crutches Award for the most injuries doled out by your own picks. And I think
this
it's
is-
funny.
It's pretty
As
bad.
I said, I tried not to, like, earlier in the year, we tried not to, like, count injured players, like, just give you a 0. However, I decided that, on the way of the best abilities availability, injuries were counted against you in the finality. And yet, the Crutches Award goes to Brandon Harris.
Wow. Yeah, I picked a
was
lot of injured players.
Sometimes it benefited you because if you had a sit, he got injured. Well, he didn't put up points, so that means he didn't show up in the tally. So that means he won. Because when I was looking through, if you sat a guy and I'm looking through the rankings, he's not on there. You won that pick. So.
And we all picked players that were like questionable and just leading up. Like I picked Baker Mayfield week 16, and then I think like a day or two later we found out like none of the Browns receivers were going to play.
You
You
picked
had
well.
Jarvis
Baker
start.
wasn't in that award, but you had Landry, so that was one of them.
Oh yeah, but
It wasn't an injury, absolutely. But this one was close too. We were actually all within one of each other. You had
okay.
one more than me, and I had one more than Ed. But at the end of the day, the Crush Award was Brent.
I want to say I'm surprised because I feel like this might speak a little bit to our lack of luck with injuries or our luck of injuries. I feel like Alex would have been first if that, did
I
speak
would
to
have been
that.
first if we were talking like actual fantasy seasons, but that's just because I was a McCaffrey owner in 4 out of 4 weeks. So,
And
basically,
Mixon and
Four leagues.
screwed into the toilet.
yeah.
What'd you say, Brandon?
I was just repeating that.
Yeah, how do you
Like,
manage?
stunning
That's absurd.
stat. 4 out of
leagues.
4 leagues, you have the
Because I already had it in
101
one.
in every single league. Like, that's not explainable. You can't.
It's unheard of.
No. I only had it in 1 league because the previous year, that was a dynasty. I took him at 3 overall.
It's absurd.
The other dynasty league that we started this year, I had like the 9th pick. I just happened to chalk a few guys into shipping McCaffrey to me.
No.
I got McCaffrey in another trade later on in the season, one of my, but it ended up being a bust because he never played for me. And then in the last league, I did draft him at 101, just for but a bit of bad luck there. But speaking of bad luck, we will move on to the Cleveland Browns Award for the worst pick luck, the most subjective of awards. But I had to create this for Ed.
Of course. Oh my god, this is so bad. Oh man.
Honestly, though, this wasn't even. You shouldn't even be offended at this. If anything, you should be happy because this is the worst luck. And by that, what I mean here is, this is when I knew that I had to give you this award. When I was looking for. So I ended up going backwards to forward. I started at week 16 to work my way all the way back. And eventually I forget what week it was. But you had said to start Kenyon Drake against Carolina. And it made all of the sense in the world. It wasn't enough for me to consider Flower, but it seemed like a genius pick. And he had 3 points.
Yeah, I guess
It
that's
made
fair.
all of this sense in the world. Drake was getting a ton of carry. Carolina was just getting gashed mainly by rough back, and Drake put up a 3-point performance. That's when I knew that I had to make the Cleveland Browns award. Ed, this is really the only way to explain what was going on. Yeah.
A comment. I'm gonna have a comment real quick. So, I don't know if is the awards over yet or no.
No.
Okay,
There's
good.
2 more.
So far, I have one positive. I wouldn't consider the Cleveland Browns award as a positive award. So I had the Travis
I
Kelce
wouldn't
award.
consider it negative necessarily. Like, if anything, it helps to explain why you
But the name of it.
picks. Like, luck is something you can't really control.
But the Cleveland Browns control their picks, so I feel like I control my pick as well. I just got skimped on it.
I say the Cleveland Browns luck award because, come on now, like, if we're talking bad luck, talking Cleveland. I mean, they let Belichick go just to watch him win, like, 6 Super Bowls in the span of, like, in a time period that Cleveland, like, failed to make the playoffs. That's just bad luck.
I guess, yeah. Oh, well.
You know,
It is
like,
what it
like,
is.
like I said, like Carolina thing, like, it made all the sense in the world that it just, like, bombed. And there were plenty of picks like that where I was looking at them like, oh, that's a solid pick. And then I checked the scores, and that guy finished with 1 point. Okay.
I just feel like I think I have the most like negative like meaning of the awards so far. So I just want to point that out so far.
It's not going to get better because there's only a couple left. And,
God damn it!
none of them are really meaningful. But next up for the jalapeno award for the most peppers eaten live on air.
Oh,
I think we know who this one goes to.
oh
Brandon
man.
Ayers, please step in.
I'm one out of 3 people who swallowed a jalapeno, and I won't do it again. I won't take this award home next season. I refuse. I'll be
Did
handing
you-
it off to Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex
We're
would
gonna
never eat
convince him
jalapeno
to
pepper
do
on
it.
air.
I'll eat them like on stuff. I just had like one the other day, like in a wrap.
We're gonna watch you eat a rat. Oh, this is so grueling.
So,
So good. I mean,
So hot.
oh man.
all right. And for the final award, the Brady Award for the most awards won
Oh.
this season. Brandon Horace, please come on down.
Keep a
I will say
list.
this is a completely bullshit award, and you wouldn't have won it had I not given you the Pepper Award. But I gave you the Pepper Award, so you also win the Brady Award.
Let's go. Well, sometimes even Brady gets
For the most-
lucky. Well, Brady had the deflate gate, so sometimes we just push numbers in our favor.
We're giving Brandon a trophy because of the trophies he's earned. Oh, look at all those trophies. Here's another one.
Well done getting these trophies. Here you go.
All of them.
Oh, we
I,
gotta keep track of those.
Yeah, next year we're definitely doing these same awards. But I did want to point out one thing before we do go. Alex, how many hours you say you did with this? Like 5 hours, 6 hours so you could do this?
Yeah, something like that.
Major appreciation, Alex, because
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have went through this grueling thing to make 16 awards, or however many awards that was. That was a lot, and
Yeah.
truly appreciate that. It's gonna stay with us next year and years oncoming, obviously. But congratulations.
Fine, considering it wasn't really that hard.
Yeah,
I really, this
wouldn't have-
sleeper app made it a lot easier because you can look up like leaders for each week. So I would just do that and then just kind of reference it to like the start tip.
That's
like,
fair.
if
I
you
still
found
wouldn't have done it.
And he didn't show up in the top. The problem is I kind of made the decision to do it before I really like realized what I was getting into. And then as I was like halfway in with the quarterbacks, and I realized that I was gonna have to look through everything the second time to get like the bold predictions for the injuries, and oh, shit.
Well, now you're
NFL.com.
locked in to do it for the rest of the lifetime.
NFL.com really
This
was coming up
podcast.
by giving me injury news for every week. Because I thought at first I was going to have to check every individual player for every start and sit for every week. And then I realized NFL.com just released like who all got injured. Oh, good. And honestly, like, they might have missed a couple. Like, if you got injured mid-game and came back, I don't know if NFL.com, like, backed that in. But I don't care. You know, the Crunches Award's still going to Brandon. The awards have already been counted.
Next season, our start sits may look a little different the way we calculate them out. We're talking
It's
about
got to be mildly more entertaining, but
more entertaining ways of handling the start sets. I don't know if one of you guys wanted to explain that or just leave it ambiguous.
no, we're ambiguous.
Okay,
complete
It's
ambiguity.
because we don't know yet.
that's true. We're planning. We're planning big things in the future. First choice, first choice
Planning and not
fantasy,
planning.
first choice betting. We do everything here.
It's
Think
facts.
about doing some basketball talk as well.
Yeah.
Basketball's fun.
Yeah, I might kick that off here shortly. We might have to. We're gonna have to make a new channel and whatnot, but might kick that off here shortly. Seeing as the season did start, what, last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Last week.
It is what it is. But we do appreciate you guys staying tuned in for First Choice Fantasy and First Choice Betting all season long. This comes to the end of the regular season. We talked about that. Gonna do some Dynasty content in the off season. So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe for Alex's sake of those 5 grueling hours. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see you sometime soon.
Thanks for sticking around with our first season of First Choice Fantasy.
First
We're
Choice
out.
Fantasy. Adios.
Later.